today, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a 2001 Volkswagen Jetta. But what makes this 2.0 Jetta so special is that it has a Precision 50 trim turbo on it. Now, a lot of people wouldn't choose this motor to boost it, but this belongs to my buddy Chris, and he was like, you know what, it's my first car. Why not do it for me? Why not do something kind of different from everybody else in the Volkswagen world? And so far, as I drive in these lovely, beautiful mountain back roads, it's doing pretty well. So the first thing you notice is lag up, boost. Has this wonderful, wonderful blow-off noise. Here, let's get back into it again in a second. Definitely a fun car so far. Oh my goodness. And if you just push through the corners, since it is front wheel drive, you will get a little bit of understeer, but you gotta push through it. The car, all in all, makes about 240 wheel horsepower, but for a really awesome back road car, that's really all you need. And with the turbo noise, it makes you smile. That's all you gotta do. Coilover setup on this car is kind of bizarre. It has raised land coils in the front and Coney yellows in the rear. But the good thing is, really, is you don't really notice. It's not one of those things where two brands are so drastically different to where it feels like it's messing up the balance of the car. Chris has had this car for 5 years now. And like I said, it's still his first car, which is awesome. I love when people still have their first car. It's always kind of a cool story to hear that somebody held out that long without giving in to getting something else. And since, I mean, it's his baby, he turboed it, he did it for himself, that's pretty about it. Originally, this motor only comes with like 115 horsepower, but when you boost it, you can handle it really reliably. And what's cool is he's had this boosted for like, I think 50,000 miles, he said. And what's great about that is it added basically another 100 horsepower and some change. So it's enough to have fun in, it's enough to bring your friends around in the four-door, and it has a really nice stance to it too. Volkswagens have always had that advantage with their body lines. They always look good basically slammed or close to slammed. The good thing about this is, even though it looks really low, it is hard to get over some stuff, but that's mostly because of the front lip. But other than that, it's really not that bad. I haven't bottomed out on anything yet. So basically when you're going in at a boost, right around 4, that's when it really kicks in. But the rest of the time, it's like driving a normal Jetta. I've ridden in several of these, never driven them, but you can tell that before the boost really kicks in, it's normal. And I think that's what makes this turbo kit so great, is that it doesn't feel like it's been messed with negatively. Chris got the car with 50,000 miles on it, and he daily drives it, which is awesome. And now it's at 109,000 miles. So after having the car, it becoming his baby, then turboing it, and then making it even more of his baby, it's pretty awesome that it's still in his hands and still very healthy. As I go up these bends and around these turns, I feel like it's solid. I don't feel like anything's gonna fall apart, or I don't think anything's gonna blow up. Another cool thing about it is when you get on it, there is, wait for the boost, there is 0 torque steer. 0. You get in a Focus ST, you get in a Mazda Speed 3, you get in even some GTIs. There's definitely some torque steer. But with this, it's nice and balanced, and it's almost, the only thing is it's like a bipolar teenager. One minute it's nice and calm, then it's angry. What's kind of cool about this clutch though, is that I thought it was stock. I had to ask Chris if it was stock or not, because it's this aftermarket stage 2 clutch, but it's probably the easiest clutch I've used in quite a while. It's not tricky at all, you just do it. The shifter as well is kind of in a weird, kind of odd place. Not that it's bad, just something to get used to. Plus I sit really close to the wheel, which is a difference, but it's kind of under you like that. You kind of have to reach down. All right. I literally can just listen to the spool, hold on. That's awesome. We're gonna go down the mountain. Here she comes, but not dangerously. The car is also on a staggered setup, so you have two 15 front tires and two 25 rear tires. So you have that kind of really meaty stance look on this car. That was, if you think about it, it was never meant to have that wide of a tire, but it really makes the car come alive and have personality to it, in my opinion. The brakes, though, since I'm going on this downhill, you gotta be kind of careful because they don't instantly engage. You kind of have to ease into it. But they're not bad, essentially. You have to get them to bite. You can't just be spontaneous with them too much. You do have to kind of think around your braking. The motor is 9-to-1 compression when it used to be 10-to-1 compression, so it has a head spacer, but that is the only motor work done to the motor. What I mean by that is basically stock bottom end, stock everything, and with the turbo strapped on. So I really do think it's really impressive to see that this motor can take the turbo and the boost for that long without any issues. And my ears are popping. One thing I've always noticed about in a modified Volkswagen is it's like almost mandatory. It's like a checklist that you have to have your check engine light on. Like every single Volkswagen I've ever been in has had a check engine light, and everyone's like, it's fine, don't worry about it, it's fine. What's really kind of cool too is the steering wheel as well. I love the material of it. You don't slip out of it at all. This is a nice little 3-spoke, always nice and focused. And the interior, for how old it is, well, old it is now, excuse me, quote unquote old, it's really held up. There's hardly any rattles in it as well. There's a little bit, but really nothing that bad. The exhaust on the car is actually really subtle. It's not too loud, and so you have to let it really wind out to hear it. And it's just a 2.5-inch turbo back. Down the hill we go. It grips really, really well for only 215s in the front. I'm very impressed. Yeah, the shifting's flawless in this car. It's really, really easy. And brake! Brake, 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 brake. So I just learned that no wonder the brakes feel a little sketchy. They haven't been replaced in 5 years. As I go down a mountain. That was gravel. Okay, the car didn't handle gravel that well. The good thing is if you don't push it through with the gas, you'll still be able to get through the corner. It won't understeer too bad on you. The seats in this car as well, they're basically OEM Recaros that are in the GLI from a 2005. And I didn't even really think about it, but it's one of those things where if a seat is good, you don't even really think about it. It just holds you in place. The only time you really think about seats is when you're getting thrown around and you're having to hold on to the steering wheel for dear life. But with this, I've been focused on the road the whole time. So they've done a really good job. Oh, 5-year-old brakes, 5-year-old brakes. That turbo noise is the best. So with that, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this quick little review video as I go down this mountain. I had a great time driving Chris's Volkswagen. I want to thank him so much for letting me drive it. It means a lot. And I will see you guys next time. And take it easy. Have a good one. Pray for me I get down with these 5-year-old brakes.